Though it kind of sucks. It's fun, but it kind of sucks at the same time.
Smoking that think it don't smell like cologne. Fuck on your whole damn.
Welcome back to another YouTube video. It's your girl Princess Layiah TV, and today I'm back with another video. Welcome back, everybody. So today I am going to be answering some questions about people who moved out young. So I moved out when I was 19, so I just want to like do a video explaining on the process and how I did it. So I put a poll up on my story so people can ask me a bunch of questions. So I'm just going to go on my phone right here and I'm going to look at the questions and, you know, answer them based on what people ask me. So the first question I got: where do you suggest looking for houses at? Is there a specific app that you recommend? So when I look for houses, I always look on Truly. No, it's called Trula. I always look on Trula. I always look on Hot Pads, Zillow. And once I get on those websites, I go down to the description and I see if the house has a description which includes the company name or the person who's renting directly. And if I see their contact information there, I will search them up via their website or text them via their phone number, because I feel like, you know, doing the application that way is way easier. What steps did you take? So the first thing I did was, like I said before, I looked on Hotpad and I found an apartment that I liked. Then I went to the website in the description. I went to the description of the website, and in the description it had the website's link there. So I went to Google and I searched up the website, and then I seen the apartment that I wanted to apply for, and then I applied directly on my company's website. And then after that, they called me probably like the next morning. They texted me, you know, said I got approved, all that stuff. And then they asked me if I wanted to see the property, and went from there. How do you maintain everything? So the way I maintain everything, I wouldn't lie, it's hard sometimes, because sometimes you gotta like choose before. Now that I'm a real adult and I have real bills, sometimes you gotta choose between like really just splurging on your money or saving it and stacking it and just having it, you know, saved up or put away for your bills and stuff like that. So my best way that I maintain it is, I probably would say like paying my bills in portions and not trying to pay big bills at once, breaking them down into like different checks. I think that helped me a lot. Like so say if like my water bill was $200, I would break it down into 4 checks and I would take $50 out each check, something like that. Was it hard to find an apartment? I would say for me, no, but overall the process is really hard, because you could get declined. You got to pay for application every time you apply for somewhere, so you could get declined, you know, stuff like that, and it might discourage you, especially like if you get attached to an apartment or you really like an apartment. How was the process overall? I feel like for me it was kind of easy, you know. It was real simple. It was boom boom boom, all my stuff checked in line, so it was easy for me. I didn't have anything stopping me. Do you miss being with your mom? Yes, I do miss living with my mom sometimes, because like being an adult is stressful. Like sometimes I get lonely. Before, like I used to get lonely, I used to feel alone. Like I hated being an adult. I just hated the idea of having to just do everything by myself. But now I'm kind of getting the hang of it. What do you miss the most from living with your parents? Well, for my mom, I would say food shopping and cooking, because like I know like food shopping be a headache, because you know, like if you're a single person, you don't get no food stamps or nothing unless you got kids, if you make over a certain amount. So yeah, so I miss the food and all that stuff over there, and I just miss having somebody to talk to. But then again, I like the peace and quiet that my house has. What's the best thing about living on your own? I would probably say, again, the peace and quiet and the being able to just do what you want when you want. Like, you know, what is one thing that you do at your house that your mom would consider a rule at her house? Something that I do at my house that my mom would consider a rule is I leave dishes in the sink and I don't clean them right away, even though I'm supposed to, but I don't. At my mom's house, she'll probably be like bitching or stamping if I did that. But here, I can do it because this is my shit. And I can do what I want. Yeah. No, but yeah, that's probably like the most things that That's probably one of the things that I do here that I wouldn't have did at my mom's house. Where do look? I already answered that question. What is a good starting price? A good starting price is based on your income and what you can afford. Don't try to live outside of your means. Live comfortably for something that fits you. If you know that your income is not gonna, you know, be able to keep you afloat, or you will not really be able to do it, I would suggest like just waiting and finding a better paying job and staying at your mom's house as long as you possibly can. Did I want to live on did I pick a certain area to live in, or did I focus on price? I focused on a price point. I wanted the cheapest, decent looking apartment, pretty much. How much did you save up, or how much would you recommend people saving up? So I saved up about, I think I saved up $3,500, but I always tell people to save $5 because you're gonna need furniture, you're gonna need food, you're gonna need to clean your house, you're gonna need all this stuff when you first move in. You can't just like move in an apartment and boom, you move in. I mean, you can if you have to, but you know, that's not really how it works. So yeah, what documentation did I need? I needed proof of income. I needed they did a credit background check, I guess, checking my credit score and stuff like that. Just make sure I was a good contender and I was gonna pay my bills, and I do. Did or do you have this support system, or are you self-dependent? I feel like I am very self-dependent, but at the same time I do have a good support. I do have a good support system at the same time. Like, you know, my mom, my sister, everybody, they helped me on this journey of moving out. And I always call my mom or my sister whenever I have questions about stuff, like stuff that you would think that is more simple is stuff that I might struggle with. Like, for example, like when I first moved into my apartment, I didn't really know how to clean certain stuff a certain way, so I didn't know the best products to use. So I would call my sister and mom and ask them what they use, and then over time I kind of like, you know, pick out my own products that I like. But I do have a good support system, but I'm self-dependent at the same time. Like, I bought everything from my own house. Like, you know, nobody really did nothing for me. I did it for myself. What order would you buy your furniture? Like, what stuff that can wait? Stuff that can wait is a couch, because like, I mean, if people want to come over your house, they can sit somewhere else. Couch is not that important. What I would say is focus on your bedroom first, and I would say don't really start buying a lot of furniture until you move into your apartment, because as you in there more and more, you see stuff that you like, think about stuff in your head. You like, no, I don't really like this no more. So that happened to me a lot, but luckily I went to companies where I can do like exchanges and stuff. Like, I got my first dresser for my kid and I knew I can do an exchange with that, so that was good. How do you feel having grown-up responsibilities at a young age? So at first it was overwhelming. Like, I used to cry a lot. I used to hate it. Like, I just used to be like, this not what, like, people who was congratulating me and telling me I'm doing so good, I would kind of tell them like, you know, this not what you want. Or I would tell them, you know, this not what it's all cracked up to be, because being an adult, it kind of sucks. It's fun, but it kind of sucks at the same time. What age did I move out? I moved out at 19. I moved out of my mom's house in April. What is the easiest part and what's the hardest part? The easiest part for me, I would say, was finding my apartment, applying, getting approved, all that. For me, it took less than 24 hours. So that was the easiest part for me. But everybody, it won't be the same for everybody. It might be different. You might have complications. You never know. What was the hardest part for me? For me, it would be finding like my own little way of doing things, because like at my mom's house, I mean, I had to do some stuff. I had some chores, but I didn't really have to manage a whole household by myself. I mean, I know I just have like an apartment, but still, like, I didn't have to manage the whole thing by myself. Cook, clean, you know, take care of everything, make sure that all messes is cleaned up, because it'll create flies, right? Flies, gnats, all that stuff. So that was probably the hardest part, just like coming into reality with the whole being an adult and living by yourself and keeping on top of stuff, things like that. What's your favorite part? My favorite part is just like, you know, having your own space, coming home to your own space, like knowing for a fact nobody can say shit to me. If my house look a mess, I didn't feel like cleaning up today, nobody can say nothing to me, because it's my stuff and I pay bills here. What's one thing that I wish I knew before moving out? I wish I knew that food is expensive as fuck. Like, groceries is really expensive, but it's cheaper to buy groceries and cook versus it is to order out. is it worth it? Overall, I feel like yes, it is worth it. It will mature you a lot. It will make you more comfortable with being alone and spending alone time with yourself, and it will just make you like, just for me, it made me appreciate myself more and come into like a different sense of life and how I view things, how I look at people. Because like when you start to like elevate in your life, no matter if it's big or small, things will just change around you. Like you'll watch your inner circle change, or you'll just watch your circle change, period. You know, because everybody is not here to see you win. Like people will make small remarks, people will make small remarks about certain things, and you just like, sometimes you just don't even want that negative energy around you. So that was why I feel like it was really worth it. It helped me like realize a lot of stuff. And I also realized like people are really like users. They trying to get you for what you got. So, you know, even though I just got my apartment and it's nice and stuff like that, people will really try to use you for what you got. So like that was one thing that I really had to realize, like when I first moved to my apartment. Like at first I was hyped on having company and people coming over, but after a while I just realized, like, you know, what I'm having all these people in my house for, they eating up my snacks, my food, they not paying no bills here. What they here for? So yeah, overall I love the process of living alone. I hated it in the beginning, but I feel like this was a growing experience for me, and I'm so grateful that, you know, I am doing well and I'm able to like handle the responsibility all by myself at just young 20 years old. So yeah, that's gonna conclude this video, y'all. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and turn on that post notification. I'm out of here.